In this video, I'm going to show you a tip that I used when archiving podcasts so that you'll be able to sort them by the publication date even after the RSS feed has gone down and that information is no longer necessarily available. So I use MusicBee to keep a podcast archived, and while the episode publication date information shows up in MusicBee, I was having an issue where this information wasn't accessible through my preferred podcast listening app, which is Podcast Addict on my phone. So when an RSS feed for a podcast exists, Podcast Addict can easily sort by the publication date. However, I noticed when I transferred podcast audio files that I'd saved from my PC to Podcast Addict that the publication date is not carried over and I couldn't sort by publication date. Now, if I was to just bring these files back into MusicBee, the episode date field was populated fine, but it wasn't populating in Windows Explorer or on Podcast Addict, and I don't use MusicBee to actually listen to podcasts. I just use it to download podcasts for an archive. So, since I prefer to listen in chronological order, and I wanted to make sure that my archive podcasts would still be sortable by the publication date outside of MusicBee, even after the RSS feed has gone down, if it does ever go down. So, to solve that problem, I changed the naming template of the audio file names to include the episode publication date in the year, month, day format, which then allowed me to always be able to sort the files by file name in order to achieve chronological order. So, here's how I did it. So in MusicBee here, as you can see, I have this just example podcast here, and it's sorting by the episode date. But if we locate this in the Windows Explorer, you can see that it's not sorting it properly. That episode date information doesn't get carried over. As far as I could find, there was no field that was showing the episode date. And if you tried to sort by the file name, by the title, well, it hasn't been named consistently, so our episodes are all out of order. So we want to get this episode date into the file name so that we can sort it chronologically. So here's how we do it. Go into Preferences, and then go to Library. Under Podcasts, we'll go Reorganize. We're going to change the naming template. We are going to run into a little problem when we do this first. I'm going to show you how to fix it. So under the naming template here, just have before the slash, this is going to create a folder for the podcast based on the album name. And then right now, the file name is just going to be the title, but we can add in the episode date. And then you can see we get the episode date in the file name here. I'm going to show you a little issue that we all encounter. So we'll go ahead and we'll reorganize, we'll do save, we'll refresh, and there you go. We're getting it now properly sorted. First episode, second episode, third episode. But let's say, for instance, have this file here. We'll say this was a pilot episode from 2023. If we refresh, we can see it's, even though this was 2023, it's not putting it first because it's not being recognized as a date. It's still just seeing this alphabetically, numerically, and it's just treating this like one big number, and it's seeing this number is bigger than this number. So what we need to do is we need to change and get this into the year, month, day format in order for it to actually sort it chronologically. So in order to do that, we're just going to take this out of here. We'll go back to Preferences. This time we're going to go down to Tags, and under the Custom Tags, we're going to go Define New Tags. I'm going to change this first virtual tag here, and you can name this whatever you want. Just remember what you name it. I'm going to call it Release Date. And then just going to use this formula here. And we'll click Save, and we'll go back to Library, back to Reorganize, and we'll just change episode date to release date. And there you go. We're getting it nicely sorted. So we'll go ahead and click reorganize and we'll save. And as you can see, let's see, is this working here? This is a field you can go and find and drag in here. And you'll get this showing up in this custom field here. So let's go back to our folder and refresh. And now we're getting it sorted right. And I changed the pilot episode manually here. So we'll just see, and yes, in that format, everything is sorting properly.